Now, anybody that knows anything about research knows that the Etruscans were Japhites. All right. But the origins of the Etruscan civilization has been a vivid debate amongst archaeologists, historians, and linguists for centuries. And then you brothers, if you want, you could read this whole, thing. It's kind of short, but I'm just going to go to the main point. It says, the Lydian theory also links the Etruscans to the to the Minoans and people of the sea, seafaring raiders that were at war with the Egyptians in the 12th century BC. So basically, the Etruscans and the Minoans are the same people. That's why this guy over here, Arthur Evans, Sir Arthur Evans said the ancient Greeks were a dark people. Sir Arthur Evans, the excavator of the Minoan site, shocked Western scholars when he uncovered this fact in 1894 hidden among the ruins of the ancient Crete. According to Evans, the Grecians whom we discern in the New Dawn were not pale-skinned northerners, but essentially a dark-skinned brown complexion race. Then here, when we read about the Minoans, this guy here, Will Durant, said he referred to it as the first link in the European chain. What is the first link in the European chain? The excavation that Sir Arthur Evans excavated on the island of Crete. And then this guy over here, when he said what? He said you spend a whole lot of time doing a lot of research, and when you find out this research, you wish you hadn't found it out. So it says the Lydian theory also links the Etruscans to the Minoans and the people of the sea, seafaring raiders that were at war with the Egyptians in the 12th century BC. Their civilization was centered in Crete, now an island in southern Greece, and other neighboring islands like Lemnos, and these people spoke non-Indo-European related languages. There are significantly increasing proofs that match the Crete and Minoan civilizations to Atlantis and its decline in huge ancient tsunami. Alright, so we think that our research provides convincing proof that Herodotus was right and that the Etruscans did indeed arrive from ancient Lydia. Alright, then he goes into a whole, like I said, if you brothers want to read the whole article, but the main point that I wanted to get was that the Etruscans and the Minoans are related with each other. Alright, this is this website here is called Welcome to the Real History Worldwide. This is the original black civilization of Crete and Greece, the Minoan and Mycenaean. Alright, and then you go through here and you have different maps and statues and paintings that show you that they were Jakes. Well, not Jakes, but they were dark-skinned people. See the nose, Minoan snake goddess, got the wide nose. She got this one here got like cornrows. Crete lady of Oxir. This is 650 BC. This is before Jake got up in there. Now you might have had a couple of Jakes that got caught up in there because of the diaspora, during the time of the Assyrians, during the time of the Babylonians, but for the most part, they were all Japhites. All right, and as you can see, look at that Minoan fresco. That's a dark-skinned person. All right, and it gives you different, different pictures of different Minoans. All right, and you can go through these. These are the brother brought out, the Pelagesians or the Pelasgians. This is another one, and it shows you that these people were dark-skinned people with cornrows. See, statues of Kouros, 590 to 580 BC. All right, and then it gives you different ones. Here you go. This is dark. I got some pictures I want to show you, brother. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on these. But this is what I wanted to show you, brother. Matter of fact, before we go on any further, I want to go to the book of Genesis 10:1 and 2 real quick. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. Now as you read through here, right, it's Banya, Japheth, Gamar, Magawag, Wa Madya, Wa Yawan. Alright, now you hear Wa Yawan, right? They have Javan, but it's Yavan, but it's Yawan. Now what you have here, Javan, Ionia, or Greece, a son of Japheth and grandson of Noah. Greece, Ionia, Ionians, location of descendants of Javan. So who were there? The first people there, they were dark-skinned people, which were the real Japhites. It says Ionia, from this province, being more to the east and better known than the rest of Greece to the Oriental. Its name became applied in their language to the whole of Greece. This has been expressly remarked by Greek writers themselves, because they knew the history. The patron sons of the Greeks, Yawan. See here they got Jawan, but it's really Yawan. Alright, so now let's go from there. Now that we got that point, I'm gonna hit another scripture in here. But before I go to this scripture, I want to go back here to this web page, and here you can see this guy has curly hair, right? You can see he has like a dark-skinned person's features, nose. It says Ionian, Persian relief at Apadana, 500 BC. This is an original Ionian. It's not no white person. It's a dark-skinned person. Over here, Helen, Persian relief at Apadana, 500 BC. These are the original inhabitants of Helen. You see, they got the curly beard, the curly hair, and then the Japhites. Some of their hair is kind of a little straight, but it's like curlyish, you know. And then they used to straighten their hair too. So right here is Helen, Persian relief at Apadana, 500 BC. So these are more pictures of these Japhites. All right, and like I said, I got a few pictures that I want to show you, brothers, you know, at the end of this lesson. And now this is when Jake got up in there. All right, so there's a distinction there. And then these are the original black civilization of Italy, the Etruscans. You know, all this information is out there, but you have assholes that just look at that. 4000 BC, look at that, a black person, dark-skinned person, not a so-called Negro of America, but a dark-skinned person of that region. All right, there's another one here, as you can see. All right, I'm just trying to show you some of these quick. See, look at that, Etruscan terracotta. That's an Etruscan. All right, this was like in Greek mythology, they had the centaur, which is half man and half like fawn or whatever the hell that thing is. That's where those Greeks got that from. They got that myth from the real Etruscans, from Japheth. And you see, they're dark, black people. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Etruscan. That looks like a Japhite, one of them Hawaiians or Samoans. Same with this one. This is the centaur right here. Half man, half horse or something like that. Alright. And this one. Alright, there's not too much on this right here. Alright, so you pretty much get the idea. Now I want to read this other scripture here. Oh, before I do that, before I read that scripture, I want to show you, brothers, this. Now these are actual Minoans. Alright. This is at Knossos. This is one of the places that this guy excavated, Sir Arthur Evans. And you can see, look at that. Crete Lady of Auxerre, 650 BC. That's a Japhite. The original black civilization of Italy, the Etruscans. Etruscan, 500 to 400 BC. Now it's possible that this might be a Jake that got up in there, but then you had some like real like darker complexioned Japhites too. Some of them were like kind of brownish like the Samoans and the Hawaiians, but some of them were actually darker too. So it could be a possibility that Jake could have got up in there, you know, through you know the diaspora, mainly of the Babylonian Empire, but or it could just be that he was an actual Etruscan. Now this is I just show you this, the Etruscan terracotta, and these are more pictures. These are men, actual men. That's why they got them brown skin. And that's another picture. Let me bring it up a little bit more. It's pretty much the same picture. This is another Etruscan. It's a Minoan. Minoan, look. Does that don't look like no white person. That's a dark skin, looks like a Japhite with the curly hair. Look at that, Minoan too. Petrovo, look at that. That's a dark skin Japhite, Hawaiian. Here's more. Here's more. Look at that. They're all dark skinned. Some of them are real dark. Some of them are lighter brown. And some of them, the paintings, they had actual other paintings on top of it. They had the outline, and then they had the actual like shellac almost, and you know, over the years it broke off. That's why you see this one's a little lighter, and you can see these are darker. Some of this stuff, whatever it was that they used for the painting, broke off. Now this is a woman. Remember when we read about the women? They were distinguished by gender, by color, and not that she was a white woman. She was a dark-skinned woman, but in art they depicted the women as white because they worshipped them as goddesses. All right. Now here you go again. You got the dark ones here, and then you got some white ones. These are women. All right. And that's the reason why some of them are dark and some of them are white, to distinguish the gender. The original black civilization of Crete and Greece, the Minoan and Mycenaean. There goes another picture of it. Look at that one, a Minoan fresco. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Dark skin. Minoan fresco. I'll just show you that one. That's what I just show you that one too. Look at that. Minoans in Egypt. They were down even in Egypt, because they were trading all throughout the Mediterranean Sea. So these are Minoans in Egypt. Dark skin. All right, that's pretty much it on that. Now I'm gonna hit a couple of scriptures and then end the lesson with that. So you know, those of you that don't get it, that the original Japhetic people were dark skinned people, then I don't know what to tell you. It's not for you. Just keep stepping. Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Now, I was going to read this whole scripture, but I'm just going to jump to the main point just to show you something real quick. Verse 5. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Now these were the them Arabs and them Hamites. They came and they snatched us up, and basically they sold us to the so-called white man. All right. It says, behold, it said, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. Now here, when you look up the word for Grecians in the Blue Letter Bible, which we're in, if you read through there, the word there is Yawanyam. Okay, Yawanya, right? Which is an Ionian, Greece Ionian. But this is when, by the time that this is referring to that land. Why? Because when the so-called white men took over that land, they became Greeks. They took on that name upon themselves.